What's good, Council of Comics? It's live podcast episode number 12. See you in 30 seconds. What is good, Council of Comics? This is our live podcast, episode number 12. We're doing film box office news and the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Let's go.
Yeah. Shout out to Madness. Yeah. Rogue Nation 845. Bro.
What is good, Council of Comics? Thank you, everyone, for joining in. This is episode number 12, podcast we do every Sunday and Monday night. Today, we're doing the film box office news. We'll check out the top 10 worldwide. And then we're going to discuss the Star Wars sequel trilogy. All the debates that must come with the sequel trilogy. We will see. But first, I must introduce Green Shirt Guy. How are you?
What's up?
And Cliff NY. How are you?
What's up?
How you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Ducky.
Busy week, but I make time for this because this is one of my favorite things now.
Awesome. Love to hear that.
It is one of my favorite things, and also I sometimes dread it. So it's just.
When we give you homework, right?
I hate the homework. Oh, I did my first escape room today. We did it in 45 minutes.
Oh,
What's the
nice.
record?
Nice.
How close are you to the record?
It is a record because the escape room was new. So
Oh, nice.
this is hilarious. The escape room we went to is on 376. It is the last location that Dragon's Den was in before it was sold to the guy who has it now.
It's in the plaza?
No, it moved from the plaza to 376. It's in this little place in 376. That place has been completely overhauled and turned into an escape room den with like multiple escape rooms for you to do. We did Dracula, which is the newest one and the hardest one. They have an illusionist one coming soon, so I can't wait for that. That's going to be their biggest one yet.
Well,
Illusionist, just illusions.
let
or
us know
Illusionist
when
the
you're going
movie?
to do that again because Kamaria loves escape rooms. I like
We-
them as well. We can all
We
go.
should. It's
I've
30
never
bucks.
done one. I'll go. Let me know.
It's 30 bucks a pop. That's super, like,
Okay.
it was super cute. Like, well, I mean, they got to make their money, and this
No, I
place
get that.
is well done. Yeah.
Does
Oh my
somebody
God, Kamaria!
describe when you beat it?
We should. You need a minimum of 3 people to go. Our group was 6. I don't know what the maximum is, but we had a good time. And I went with 2 people who regularly done it. The rest of my board game group. So all of us are a board game group, right? And we love playing Dracula games as it is. So anyhow, we like went in there. We're like, we're gonna kill Dracula,
Nice.
and we did need 2 hints. One was because there was a bit of a malfunction to get a key. So like we really need the first hint. The second hint we probably needed. The third hint, I asked for the third hint, and we probably didn't need it. But I was like, I don't know. We're struggling, and there's only like 18 minutes. But once we got that third hint, it was pow, 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 boom, and it was great. And I don't want to ruin it for you guys because they went on and on about like not ruining it for other people.
Yeah.
But
Don't ruin
like,
it.
it was really good. It's good. Like we all left saying it was good. The girl who was our game master, who's like the one who like sets us up and leads us in, and then she's like, "You talk to the monitor, and I'll send you hints on the monitor, right?" So you don't ever see or hear her, but we look at the monitor, ask for a hint, and then like a little hint is typed out at the bottom of the screen in like like a Dracula font, right? And so
Nice.
that was really cute. It was so funny. And when we look back and we're like, no, the key, and it's like the key is in the desk. It's in the desk, and we're like, look. So that's the only spoiler I'm giving because that was great. We had such a good time. I can't remember the name of it other than it's on 376 in Wappingers and it's an escape room. Highly recommend. Super cute. and fun, and there are worse ways to spend your $30 per person. So go for it.
True.
Very true, my friend. Very true.
So I need to let all that out because it was fun. People should do it. We're a bunch of nerds. Let's go.
Excellent. So we'll make a plan of doing some escape room stuff. Let's get into some news. Let's talk about the box office. Black Adam came in at number 1
again.
Yeah, but
had
I mean, again, you call me a cynic, whatever you want to call me.
You are a cynic. We're in a pandemic. And I know nothing has
give
come
me
out.
a break. We're in a pandemic. People are going to the theater.
I know, but not like they were before, and you know it.
Look what it's competing against.
Halloween ends.
Okay, which that's everyone's that's wanted to see that would have seen that by now.
Smile. And don't worry, darling. Smile is messed up. I
think the only one that is its real competition is Pray for the Devil because that was brand new. But other than that, I hear Barbarian's good. By the way.
Okay, so Barbarian is good if you like a monster movie. It's a new, fresh twist on a monster movie.
Okay. I mean, I've heard that it was a podcast I was listening to the other day. They were saying it was really good, but it's one of those movies that you almost want to know nothing going in.
No, so you got to know nothing going in. Yeah. But the way that the storytelling of the film is fresh, and I appreciate that. And it is a monster film in its own right, and that's where I'm going to leave it at.
Is it super gory or no?
It's medium gory.
Okay.
I love the cast. I also am a big fan of Halloween Ends. I think people, and I would love to have a conversation with Tom about this because he's obsessed with Halloween. I think if you wanted a normal slasher flick, it is not. That's not what it does. It goes into a whole bunch of hot topics like blaming the victim. Like what happens when evil isn't quelled? Like does it spread? Does it transform? And which it does in this film, right? Like it does all these things. Evil, and she even closes with a note about how when you defeat evil, all it does is it changes its form. All it does is it transforms into something else, right? So I was like, wow, this movie. So
it's just like energy, right? Energy can't be destroyed; it can only be transformed.
That sort of thing.
What's the name of that Denzel Washington movie where he's he's trying to kill that demon? And at the end, it's one of those, and then you realize at the end that they tell you at the beginning that this was the time that I almost died.
Yeah,
remember, it's the one that
I know what you're talking about.
So
that's the song where he's like, "Times on
that
my
one."
side.
And you see the cat running away.
7 Sins or something like that. 7 Sins, something like that. Something had to do with sins.
I'm gonna look it up now.
7, I think it's 7.
Sins. No, 7's is the Spacey movie.
Oh, okay.
Right, but I think it's 7 Deadly Sins.
I'm gonna look. Hold on, I'll look it up while you guys go ahead. I'll look it up.
So Black Adam came in at number 1, had a 32% drop. It's still not. But here's the problem: China has decided they will not be playing Black Adam because Kevin Spacey was wearing a necklace that was given to him by the Dalai Lama, and China said no more Black Adam.
Kevin Spacey.
Was it Kevin Spacey? No, Pierce Bronson. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
He did it. Yeah. And they were like, no, you're not playing Black Adam. So Black Adam will be lucky to get $400 million at the box office. Lucky. And their target was 600 to break even.
They'll get there.
Break even.
That's the kind of movie where they'll leave it in the theaters longer than they normally would, because they'll get there.
Plus, hopefully does well digital.
Like the Expectation Game.
By the way, the movie's Fallen. The Denzel movie's called Fallen.
Fallen, that's right.
And is the Expectation Game different than us having expectations?
Well, these are studio expectations.
Right, exactly. So the studio expectation, I call the Expectation Game, right? because that's more dangerous that's in my opinion, it's more dangerous, right? Because fans can love something, but when it financially underperforms, it's like, yeah, the fans didn't really love this because they would have paid to see it more.
Yeah, but you know, the studios fudge those numbers all the time because there's movies that, like, I can't think of, like The Godfather, for example, that, you know, are notoriously never turned a profit, but killed at the box office. So, like, it's all a shell game on some level anyway. So the expectation 600 million, because they're saying, I'm sure whatever their outlay was for, you know, worldwide promotion and so forth was X amount of dollars. So if we hit this, our profit margin is where we want it to be.
Yeah,
so
they want,
you know, it's going to be lower, but they made money.
They wanted 600 million so they could say they could greenlight a sequel. Because even The Rock, they asked The Rock, what would it take to have Black Adam 2 come out? And he said, well, honestly, it'd have to be in the 500 and 600 range for them to start with a script. And he said, if it doesn't reach 500 to 600, then he's like, it's most likely probably won't happen.
That's not true. I don't believe that for a second.
But
it depends on the studio. Like, if the studio believes in starting this new route, like Cliff says, this new turn,
right. That's my point.
Then they have to accept this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I am very afraid because Man of Steel. Pull up Man of Steel on Box Office Mojo.
Gotcha.
Man of Steel made some pretty good high millions, and somehow, although it generated BVS, Batman vs Superman, it didn't seem to generate a Man of Steel sequel.
Because it wasn't well received. Here's the thing, and I grew up loving Superman because I just, you know, I was a Christopher Reeves kid, right? And those in Superman, I think you know, at this point, Batman is obviously the big property, right? I think that nobody would argue that. But Superman, there's still a lot of Superman people out there. So anytime they make a Superman movie, it's gonna make a ton of money.
Well, this
may not make what they say they wanted to make.
Yeah, this one they expected to make a lot more. They
wanted to hit the $1 billion mark with this, and
well, because they want to compete with Marvel.
No, of course they want to compete with Marvel.
But it's Superman too, like. You know what I mean? Right. He's the biggest character, so.
Well, I would say Batman is now, but it's it's 1A.
Superman multiple times has been received as the most well-known international fictional character.
Yeah, like everybody knows Superman.
Batman and Wolverine fight. There is a point where Wolverine was #1, which I thought was amazing, but that time is over again. Right. Superman sits high and mighty on that throne, but. It's true. This movie, I wish this movie was better received. I remember the first time I watched it, I loved it, but it ate at me the Pa Kent scene, which just killed me.
Oh, that I couldn't agree.
That was ridiculous, man.
What pissed me off about that is he's Superman. We know that he's Superman. We all know it, and we know how fast he is. Oh, you stay because you might give up what, you know, people might see you.
He could have did it and nobody would have ever saw him do it.
Exactly.
No,
and you don't have to take him back through that group of people. Take him, keep going, and leave him somewhere like, Dad, just stay here. We'll come get you at some point. Yeah. And then we don't have to tell anybody how you got away.
No, there's one good Pa Kent scene in that whole movie, and it's towards the end of the film, right? Oh my God, we're being invaded on our YouTube channel by hot, sexy girls. Get out. Get out. This is not for you, you fake crap. Get out. So
let me get rid of these things.
So, like, stupid robots. So there's that one scene that's good, and that scene that's good is when those kids are bullying Clark and they're at the auto shop and Clark.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Right? That is such a beautiful scene. I'm like, you guys are so backwards. Every moment with Ma and Pa Kent in this movie should have been this. Also, they nailed it with Ma Kent because she goes to school when he's freaking out because he can't control his heat vision, his hearing. And she's like, Clark, you're on an island in an ocean. And I'm like, oh my God, this is beautiful. You know?
I mean,
it had great moments, man. Like,
it does. And great
him coming out of the fortress. Him coming out and like just presenting himself as Superman, you know what I mean? When he touches the ground and then he goes up, that's
and the
classic stuff.
Great. I mean,
I fully embrace the new music.
The Superman's ethos is really based on his parents.
Yes.
And if you take that away, if you have to explain why he doesn't turn into a villain.
Right, and that's
because there's no reason for him not to.
Right, it's just kind of like, oh, he just does it. And the thing is, the whole movie's about freedom of DNA, right?
Yes.
Like Zod, his DNA tells him to be general, right?
He's bred to be, yes.
Yeah, but his DNA, he's got the whole Kryptonian matrix in him, saying he can be whatever he wants to be.
Correct.
But the movie doesn't give us the crux for this, which is the Kents are really extraordinary, loving, kind, compassionate people who instill that into their son.
Yes.
And that's the best part of Superman mythology.
Other than that, my other major criticism with this movie is there is a blatant disregard for human life in this movie.
Right, which
my god. Which is addressed in the second movie.
Yes.
Batman versus Superman.
Right, but they never really give you we're sorry. No, there's just people killed in mass. And you're like, well, that's not a Superman movie. But whatever.
Right, I mean, but it's real though.
Well,
it's real.
It is. You know? I'll give you that. I guess it's a Superman for a new generation. But the
but
other
also,
thing that
we have to be like,
is
wow,
you get it. Superman's always freedom, justice, in the American way, and they kind of went, well, it's freedom and justice now. We don't want to piss
There's
off.
no more
China,
American
so we can't
way,
say the American way anymore.
Yeah, it's more of a global.
But
global
no,
thing.
but remember when him and the general are arguing at the end, and he's like, "General, I grew up in Kansas. How much more American can I get?"
Yes,
Yeah.
I get you, but still,
You know, like no, it's like there. Like in other words, like it's Superman saying, "You want me to like pledge this country, which I'm not going to do because being Superman isn't that." Which is really hard, you know. If we ever really, if we ever had a Superman, right? I don't even know if it's possible. We can't even have a Batman. We have a world full of billionaires, right? Like you know, like I just can't imagine any Superman type that's going to be like, oh yes, I'm going to ignore stuff in other countries because I don't want to get involved in the politics.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, like I said, if you take out the Kents. Superman. You ever see the movie Brightburn?
Mm-hmm.
That's who Superman becomes.
And those people try to instill something good in their kids.
Correct.
You know, but the ship awakens the horror inside that kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should get a series of movies in that universe.
I mean, that was a great movie. It really was.
And I like at the end where they showed like it's in the same universe as Super and something else, but like it's set in the same universe as a couple other movies. I was like, ooh,
well, that's so. One Piece came in at number 2. Anime manga.
What is that?
That's an anime movie. One Piece is very popular amongst the anime crowd. And
how much did they make in China?
Oh, that
probably like half that 9 million.
Their worldwide is, let's see. They've done 141 million.
Yeah, there you go.
132 world on the international. That's pretty big. For an anime movie. And this has been a pretty light little box office week. Smile, Pray for the Devil, Lila Crocodile, The Banshees of Inisherin, till Halloween ends, continuing its disappointing run. Terrifier 2.
I hear that Tar movie looks good. That's supposed to be good. I want to see that, but
yeah, I heard that's good as well.
That's going to be a rental.
Black Adam was the biggest one this week, bringing about 18 million. Will it be number 1 next week? No, because Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever is making its round.
Well, how much has it made altogether so far?
Which one?
Black Adam.
Black Adam's only done about 300 something.
Let's see it.
Which means that Black Panther
319.
Black Panther will, this is my prediction. Black Panther will make 200 million first weekend.
I agree.
If not more.
I agree.
And it'll pass what Black Adam's made already in the
it's going to leave Black Adam in the dust.
Yeah, Black Adam might not even it might not even hit 400 million.
Unless,
here's my prediction for Black Adam. If it does not cross 400 million, they are wiping the DCEU. If it does reach 400 million, they'll push on.
That's
with
bold. I think it's going to make 5 altogether when it's all said and done, but that's me.
I hope so.
I mean, I know it's got a ways to go still.
There's nothing wrong with these characters. It's just you got to put the right people in it to tell this story. These actors, everything is fine. It's just you have to get a direction going with this universe. And it's also on the fans too.
It's a great pivot.
Yeah, it's also on the fans too. Don't cry and scream and bitch and moan about you don't have a DCEU, all that, if you're not going to watch the movie.
By the way, it's DCU now.
That's fair. But here's the thing, and
it's
maybe
DCU
it's just,
now.
I'm one of the as far as Black Adam goes,
DCU,
right? You got to convince me to go see that, and for me, it's Now, having said that, I had the time to do it, I would have seen the Batman at least 2 or 3 times. I've watched it 3 times since I've owned it on Blu-ray, and to me, that's the new DCEU.
We're gonna see with Black Panther whether the box office and the people is there a problem really in Hollywood or not. Because if Black Panther does, like you say, it makes over 200 million, it goes on to be like a $2 billion film.
Oh, that movie's gonna smoke.
Then that just shows that people are willing to come to the box office.
Absolutely.
You just have to give them something great now. You can't come with this mediocre stuff anymore.
How best to say this without sounding whatever too? I mean, it's a Marvel movie, so you know it's gonna rake bank. But
the last 2 Marvel movies have been disappointments.
Whatever, because I don't, I have no. I'm trying to be gentle here because I know I don't want to get canceled. It made a ton. The first one made a ton of money because the Black audience fully supported it. Like, we finally get our movie. Yeah. So if you get a second one and they love the first one, which they did, and everybody loved it because it was a great movie, it should do the same. It should do the same numbers again. Is my feeling.
It should,
as long as it's not a garbage movie, which I don't think it will be. But I'm just saying, I think
basically
it's going to rake again.
To all you DC fans out there, call up your Snyderverse cult people and tell them to get out of the way, because I think that's the problem that's going on here. Yeah, I think the Snyderverse people are really a bunch of people that just will ruin
you know
your
what
movie.
Though, but the Snyderverse people are so excited with Henry Cavill's appearance in Black Adam.
Let's hope, but here are the numbers, man. These are the numbers. They got to come out.
There's a few problems with Black Adam that I turned my head to, whatever, a blind eye to. A lot of people have told me that just oversaturated marketing from The Rock, right?
That would be for me.
And I know you're definitely one of those people who said that to me. And then the other thing is well, we don't know who the hell this is.
Yeah. They didn't know who you're right. They don't know who Black Adam is.
They're like, Black Adam and the Justice Society. Who are these people?
Right. Well, and I think The Rock is your runway in for the casual fan. They're like, okay, you got the right guy, but again, he might be slightly oversaturated. But yeah, once you get him in the door, they're going, I don't know who these other people are.
But the thing is, did you not enjoy the other people once you were there? I
haven't seen it, so I can't speak for the movie.
Wow.
I told you that it's gonna be a rental for me.
I watched Rise of Skywalker for you.
Wait a minute.
I fully appreciate that.
Yeah. Shout out to Madness. Yeah. Rogue Nation 845. Bro.